Thank you to our guest, Patrick Bellaby, for being with us. Loads of messages as well on that last interview. Patrick's a popular man in Neyland after hitting the winning runs yesterday for another Dougie Morris scored.
The 9th win in 11 years, to be fair. That's some record, and that'll take some breaking, won't it, Ben? You know, they've been so consistent, and it doesn't matter what format it is. And as Paddy explained, they got strength and depth in bowling and batting, and they're well ahead of the rest. But I have to say, it was great to see Saundersfoot beat them this season, just to have another name go into the Hamilton Allen final. It's their first appearance as well, which was nice to see that happen.
Yeah, I had to touch on that with Patrick as well, just whether it was tinged with disappointment, and that maybe motivated them to make sure they well and truly got over the line to win yesterday, and that was a really good knock from him as well, scoring 69. So yeah, loads of messages on that last interview. Well done to Neyland, and you hit the nail on the head, Gord, actually, when you said it's across the formats, isn't it? They do well, like indoor, outdoor, national championships. They go well, don't they, in cup cricket?
They do. Yeah. As I said, they're just strong all round, aren't they? And they're so keen. As Paddy said, they are an ageing team, but I did point out to him Windy's 53 and they've still got a way to catch him. So they'll be going for a bit longer yet.
They are churning players out in Neyland still, though, you feel, for a few years to come. Right, I think we've got Fraser with us, actually, for the final part of the show. Fraser, evening.
I have arrived ready for my day in Canary Wharf tomorrow, which will be a lot different to my usual working station on my sofa there.
Oh, good stuff, and it is good to have you with us as well. Just a word from you on that Neyland win, 9 out of 11 Dougie Morris trophies. As we were saying, that's an impressive record, right?
Yeah, caught the end of what Gordon said there. They're just so well vested in those situations on that day, isn't it? And it was following yesterday, and of course at 40 odd for 4 and 70 odd for 5, you wonder, will this be the final where they finally relent, the final where they don't get over the line and they just don't panic, do they? And to have a 6th wicket pairing in a crisis situation of a final of Paddy Bellaby and Andrew Miller, you're talking to batsmen who could arguably open in that format. I'll certainly both be a lot higher up the order. They just got so much strength in depth, and Carew will be disappointed. It's been a long time now since they've got over the line in the cup final. They would have seen yesterday as a big chance, but it's no coincidence. Neyland, they did it the same last year against Narberth. They've done it again today. They just keep digging themselves out of difficult situations.
Yeah, really well done. I know there's a match report coming up on pembrokeshiresport.co.uk as well. We started off the show in the first part by remembering an absolute legend of Pembrokeshire football, Brian Hawkins, who very sadly passed away. We were talking about actually how the league might remember Brian, and Gordon came up with the idea maybe renaming the Jubilee Cup after Brian. Lisa Devenold has commented on our first video this evening to say that's an excellent idea, Gordon. We'll put it to the league. And just echoes what we were saying, really, that it's such a sad day for Pembrokeshire football and for the county on a wider note as well. And I know, Fraser, you just wanted to add your words, really, to the loss of Brian and what a sad day today is, yeah?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. That's a tremendous suggestion by Gordon, actually. I think that would be quite fitting. But look, I imagine yourself and Gordon have summed it up happily already. But, Brian's contribution to Pembrokeshire football will only be truly realised now he's gone. He took a thankless task, and he was a strong character, Brian. You need to be in that situation. What I always liked about him, and he took stick, and it's one of those roles where you never get everything right. You've got people waiting to fire at you, people who never do the job themselves. And he wasn't afraid to upset anyone. He had the strength of conviction to stick by his decisions, and he didn't care if people came moaning at him, and things like that. He didn't care if the press came moaning at him, which we did from time to time as well, but he remained on good terms with all of us. He was friendly. He was a great man. He put a tremendous amount of work in, but that'll be my defining memory of him, his true strength of character. He stuck by his decisions. He stuck through the strength of his convictions, and he did so much for that league. And I don't think people who perhaps weren't close to him or perhaps weren't involved in a working capacity truly realised the work he put in over so many years. And the last time I saw him was actually at that West Wales Cup semi-final in Stedman Heath when Cuddick were there. Even when he was pretty critically ill by that point, he was still supporting Pembrokeshire football, and he was a great man, and he'll leave a great legacy as well.
Yeah, absolutely right, and I think fair to say tonight's show is dedicated to Brian, who was a regular guest and a big friend of the Pure West Sports Show. We've been doing this for almost 4 years now, and he was someone we would have on from time to time. He was a regular guest and always spoke and always did a great job. So tonight's show, without doubt, for Brian. And actually, we should talk and say well done to a Pembrokeshire footballer we're all very proud of, actually, and one we mentioned last week on the show. I'm talking about Angharad James, because we said on this show, didn't we, that she must be in contention to captain the Wales women's side as they continue to rotate the captaincy. And she did just that, didn't she? Skippered the team in their win over Kosovo. I think you were there, Fraser, weren't you, last Tuesday?
I was, yeah, but Steven Heath last Tuesday. Nice night, actually. Decent crowd. They're very comfortable night for Wales, actually, and had a lot of time and space in the middle there, but shut the captain's armband. Another nice night for her, actually. A family in attendance as well. Gordon as well. Dad Clive was there afterwards. And, she looks strongly tipped now to take that role for the next couple of years. We still don't know what Rhian Wilkinson's thinking. She keeps the cards close to her chest, but that is a speculation, certainly hearing at the Wales camp that she will take on that role full time. And look, they've got a big chance now. That playoff draw has worked out quite well for them. It looks like, without looking too far ahead, they should go through to the second stage, which will be a two-legged playoff with, they expect to be the Republic of Ireland, which is probably a 50-50 game. So we're here again, aren't we? We're here again talking about those women on the brink of a first major championship, and they've got another big chance to get over the line.
Well, let's hope they do get over the line, and let's hope Angharad James is the player to skipper them on a full-time basis. We were saying last week, it's a strange one where you rotate the captaincy like that, and you just feel for the players a bit of consistency maybe to have the same captain. Right, let's finish. In fact, let me just read one more message out that's come in about Brian, actually, and it's from another regular on the show, Jason Chapman. It's on the screen now. Brian has done a lot for Pembrokeshire football. He had big shoes to fill, taking over from Eddie Oliver, as you said, Gordon, in part one. He did a great job, and we will always be grateful for all his help and support. Do keep those messages coming in, because I'm sure for his family that they're great to read, and we'll certainly read those out. So keep those coming into us at Pure West Radio. Now, on Friday, the Olympic Games starts, and the opening ceremony is going to be something, actually. It's going to all be on the river, on the Seine in Paris. Of course, we've got a couple, haven't we, flying the Pembrokeshire flag. Joyce is an Olympic veteran now, Fraser. Would you mind us calling her that?
No, absolutely not. On the brink of actually becoming the first ever rugby player to appear on the Team GB side, male or female, in 3 different Olympic Games. So veteran's quite apt, although I think she's still only in her late 20s, isn't she? She's still got time for a 4th, potentially, in Los Angeles. But yeah, look, she's been nailed on ever since breaking through into that setup in Rio, hasn't she? And I heard her speaking a week or 2 ago, actually, and of course she was excited about these games. But she actually said it was different in that the expectations weren't so high on TGB women this time around. They did narrowly missed out on medals, and in that way it made it easier that they weren't ranked necessarily in the top 3 or 4 coming in. I don't quite buy that. I think Jazz will desperately want that Olympic medal to finish off this story. It's been a great story for her, and it'd be a fine way to cap it. So I think she'll be hell-bent and determined to get them at least to a bronze medal finish.
And Gord, she has been a brilliant ambassador for Pembrokeshire, hasn't she? Always happy to give her time when she comes back. And it would be amazing to get that medal in Paris, wouldn't it, for the GB side?
Yeah, she's been an inspiration for women, not only in Pembrokeshire, but further afield. The way she's played the game. She reminds me of a version of a Shane Williams type player. She's got all the skills, speed, and she's pretty courageous in the tackle as well. She's done Pembrokeshire proud, and the way for her to go out in Olympics, her last Olympics, would be great to get any colour a medal. Even if she didn't get a medal, she's done a fantastic job for women's rugby. She's a real top player.
I have to say, I've loved the addition as well since 2016 of Sevens rugby to the Olympics, to the Olympic programme. I just think it's a brilliant one to watch. So exciting and so accessible as well. So I think it'll be excellent in Paris. So a huge good luck to Jazz. And the second Pembrokeshire person at the Games will be in the sailing. Is Mickey Beckett, isn't it, from Solva?
Second St David's secondary school pupil as well, Ben. We want to add that we're carrying this Olympic Games from down my little corner of the world. Yes, we had Mickey on the show as well, haven't we? Tremendous sailor, came through Solva Club and has now gone to bigger and better things. And like Jazz, a very, very grounded and humble individual who's dedicated so much time, and he's in contention for a medal as well. Don't make a mistake about that. So yeah, we've got 2 serious chances coming, and if they do bring home medals, they'll be bringing them home to St David's, not Great Britain. We'll clarify that soon.
All right, Team St David's.
It's coming home, is it, right?
It's not even Team Pembrokeshire, it's Team St David's. They're representing in Paris.
I have noticed how he's changed stance all of a sudden. Yeah.
Yes, you're Olympians, you're Alfred West lot over there.
Yeah, Roland Phillips, Simon Davis. Yeah, we get the feeling. We know what it's all about.
We joke about that. We should spare a thought for Ben Llewellyn as well, who obviously was so ambitious and tried hard to reach these Olympic Games, and unfortunately wasn't given a quota place and performed so well throughout the year. So devastating for him as well, having to got that close.
Okay, let's finish off then. I'm self-confessed Olympics geek. I love the Olympics, and I've been talking about it to anyone that will listen. I'm looking forward to Friday. Let's have some Olympic memories, shall we? Favourite Olympic moments. Who wants to go first? Go on, Gord. You kick us off.
1972 Olympics in Munich. Mark Spitz. He was one terrific swimmer. I think he took 7 goals and broke world records. But that was my first real Olympics that I took note of, and he was a phenomenal swimmer. Nice one.
Fraser.
I mean, from a selfish point of view, I was at the opening day of the athletics in London 2012 when the heptathlon was kicking off, and Jennifer Ennis, or the FSU event of Jennifer Ennis, obviously went on to win gold, and that was very special. But in terms of growing up, I think I touched on it last week, seeing Steve Redgrave get that 5th gold that Saturday morning in Sydney. There was a man who was just, you felt physically and almost emotionally spent by those Sydney Games, and put everything into almost that one last row to reach what he felt was destiny, a 4th Olympic gold. I thought that really summed up, his courage and his career and everything else. And I have to say, at the time, obviously watching Linford Christie come through in the 100 metres in Barcelona for that gold too. Unfortunately, I have to be honest about it, a memory which is perhaps tainted now by what came later down the line. But unfortunately, it doesn't have maybe the traction it does. The Olympics now, it competes with so much else, but it's still a special thing. Certainly growing up with some special memories watching it.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think we're about the same age, Fraser. 92 Barcelona was one for me. I remember being in Lampeter Velfrey that summer at my grandparents' house, and we all gathered around the TV watching the 92 Olympics. And you mentioned Linford Christie, but Colin Jackson, Chris Akabusi as well, John Regis, amazing. But for me, 2012 was just a brilliant summer, and Super Saturday was probably one of the greatest sporting moments. Just watching that Rutherford, Ennis, Farah, that run was just unbelievable, wasn't it? And that whole Olympics had some great moments as well. It's the first time we came across the Brownlee brothers in 2012, and they were awesome. Like Ben Ainsley down in Weymouth in the sailing, absolutely brilliant. And my favourite Olympian, see if you can get this, favourite Olympian I've ever met was not a human being, but was one of the greatest Olympians we've ever had, and competed in that Olympics and won a gold. I think 2 golds in that Olympics. Ooh, we haven't got much time. So
come on, Ben. Just tell us,
until next Monday on this one.
So it was Vallegro, the horse in the dressage, rode by Charlotte Dujardin to a couple of golds, and I met that horse, and honestly, I've never met an animal like that. It just had so much about it. It just had that aura that I am an Olympian. Incredible. That was one of my Olympic geek moments.
1980 was another one for me, and that was in Moscow. You had Ovid and Co. 1500 and 800 meters, middle distance runners at their best, breaking records week in, week out, leading up to the Olympics. It was fascinating. And then Ovid won in the 800, which was Sebastian's preferred run, and then he went and beat him in the 1500, which was Ovid's preferred. They both had a gold medal each. That was great.
We got to go. Does anyone know what the new sport is in Paris that we'll be watching? And we might get Gord to do some demonstrations during the Olympics.
Oh my God!
It's
going to be men's rugby 7.
It's breakdancing, Gord. I can't wait.
Is it really?
You need to learn breakdancing for this show, and we'll get you on the video doing it. Either that or skateboarding. You take and look out for the new format of the kayak as well, which is going to be a race, and it's been described as hectic because all 4 kayaks will be on the course at the same time. That's one to watch. And I also like the triathlon where they race against each other as well in a relay. That's good as well.
Yeah, the mixed event. Great.
It's all to come. We have got to go. Gordon, thank you. Fraser, great to have you with us as well. Coming up next on Pure West Radio this evening, it is the Red Thread with Tim Cooper. We will see you next Monday. Good night.